Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a question that, let's be honest, affects every single one of us. What are we going to eat in the future? Our planet is feeling the strain, and the way we produce food, well, it has to change. So we're going to explore two pretty revolutionary paths that could completely reshape our dinner plates and our world. So let's start right here, with the ground beneath our feet. This image, it tells a powerful story, doesn't it? You see that stark line between the healthy forest and the worn-out farmland. This isn't just a picture. It's a warning shot about a crisis that's unfolding right under our noses. And this number, well, it's just staggering. The UN says 1.7 billion people live in places where the land is so degraded it can no longer reliably provide them with food. Think about that. That's almost a fifth of the entire world's population facing a direct threat to their survival. And as the head of the Food and Agriculture Organization puts it, this is a fundamental challenge to our way of life. We really have no choice but to completely rethink how we grow our food. So what's path number one? Well, it's not about abandoning farming. Not at all. It's about healing our farms from the ground up. It's an idea called regenerative agriculture. The core idea here is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of just taking from the land, which is what we've been doing for a long time, we give back. The goal is to make the farm a part of the ecological solution, not the problem. And you can really see the difference in philosophy right here. We're talking about a move away from that industrial, almost factory-like approach to something much more natural, more holistic, something that puts the long-term health of the land first. What's so fascinating is how quickly this idea is catching on. I mean, what started out as a very community-centered grassroots movement is now being talked about in the boardrooms of some of the biggest names in the food industry. And just look at this. It shows you how serious they are. We're talking about giants like Cargill, PepsiCo, Walmart, all setting these really ambitious goals to transition millions of acres. And listen, this isn't just about PR or being green. It's a hard-nosed business decision. It's about securing their supply chains for the future in a world with a changing climate. And the benefits just ripple outwards, way beyond the farm itself. You get healthier soil, which means you get more nutritious food. That means better public health. It also means cleaner water for everyone. It's this incredible chain reaction of good things. Okay, let's switch gears to our second path. This one takes a completely different, you could say radical, approach to one of the most resource-intensive foods we eat, meat. This very question is fueling a multi-billion-dollar revolution in food technology. It's called cultivated meat, or sometimes lab-grown meat, and it promises to give us real meat without needing a single farm or a single animal. So how on earth do they make it? Well, in a nutshell, you're farming cells instead of whole animals. It starts with a tiny sample of cells, which are then fed a nutrient-rich broth in a controlled environment. You can kind of think of it like a brewery for meat. The cells multiply and grow, and voila, you get actual meat. The potential environmental benefits are just enormous. Cultivated meat could use up to 99% less land than conventional livestock. Just pause and imagine that. Imagine freeing up all that land for rewilding, for conservation. It's a staggering thought.
And the water savings are just as dramatic. It takes an incredible amount of water to produce a single kilogram of beef. Cultivated meat could slash that by up to 96%. In a world that's facing more and more water stress, that's a massive deal. So, the bottom line is this. Traditional meat production has a huge climate footprint. It's responsible for nearly 60% of all food-related greenhouse gases. So, by rethinking the source of our meat, we could take a huge bite out of our global emissions. Okay, so both of these futures sound pretty amazing, right? A win for the planet, a win for us. But it's not quite that simple. There are some really big hurdles we have to get over before either of these becomes our daily reality. For regenerative agriculture, one of the biggest challenges is, weirdly enough, just defining what it is. Without a clear, standardized definition, it's really hard to know who's doing it right and who might just be greenwashing their old practices. And this slide really shows you the result of that confusion. I mean, look at this. It's a dizzying mess of different certifications. It's fantastic that there's so much interest, but for you or me standing in the grocery store, it can be totally overwhelming. Now, with cultivated meat, the biggest hurdle probably isn't the science anymore. It's what some people call the ick factor. The million-dollar question really is, will people eat meat that was grown in a stainless steel vat instead of on a farm?
And this recent study shows just how big that challenge is. A significant number of people, including both meat eaters and maybe surprisingly vegetarians, are pretty hesitant. Overcoming that psychological barrier is going to be absolutely key to its success. And there are other huge challenges too. Regenerative farming has to prove it can scale up to feed billions. Cultivated meat has to deal with questions about how much energy it uses. And for both, you have to navigate complex government regulations and figure out how to support the traditional farming communities that could be left behind by all this change. These are not easy problems. So, after all of that, where does this leave us? What's the future of food actually going to look like? Do we have to pick a side? You know, the most important thing to remember is that this isn't a battle. It's not team regenerative versus team lab grown. The future of food isn't an either-or choice. It's much more likely to be a mosaic, a mix of solutions that combines the ancient wisdom of practices like regenerative farming with the incredible power of brand new technologies. Ultimately, the future of food is in our hands. It's on our forks. The choices we make every day as consumers, as citizens, as a society, will decide what we eat and what kind of world we leave for the next generation. The future of our planet is, quite literally, on our dinner tables. So what kind of future are you choosing?